cases with the coordination, research, and regional commitment. This is symbolic, a reaffirmation of ASEAN's commitment to move forward together. With the rapid changes in global dynamics, the region's strength lies in its unity. And today, the ceremony reinforces just how vital shared purpose and long-term vision are to our collective future. Announcing the arrival of His Excellency Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Singapore. We're pleased to welcome the arrival of the Honorable Datuk Sri Utama Haji Muhammad bin Haji Hassan, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia. Today, he is representing the strength, unity, and shared purpose of this regional community. The presence itself of all foreign leaders reaffirms ASEAN's enduring commitment to the cooperation, mutual respect we have towards each other, and inclusive growth across Southeast Asia. We are honored to welcome all of our ministers of all countries, whose participation today reflecting a significant step in the country's path toward membership of the ASEAN. As our distinguished ministers and delegates arrive and make their way into the venue, we'd like to thank them for their presence and commitment to shaping a more united, secure and prosperous region together. The Honorable Datuk Sri Utama Haji Muhammad bin Haji Hassan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia.
Okay. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and selamat datang. Welcome to the ASEAN Joint Foreign and Economic Ministers meeting. Before we begin, may I kindly invite our foreign ministers and economic ministers of ASEAN and Timor-Leste and the Secretary General of ASEAN to proceed to the stage for a group photo session. Foreign ministers, please proceed to the front row of the designated area on stage. Economic ministers, kindly take your position in the second row following the tagging provided.
Now, this group photo stands not just as ceremonial tradition, but it is a symbol of ASEAN's unity, diversity, and unwavering collaboration in navigating the region's challenges and opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, let this image capture the spirit of friendship, diplomacy, and forward-looking cooperation that defines ASEAN and its partners.
First, the formal pose. 3, 2, 1. And now, the ASEAN way, right hand over the left. Oh. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Excellencies. You may kindly take your seats. Excellencies, distinguished without further ado, may I invite His Excellency Datuk Sri Utama Haji Muhammad bin Haji Hassan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia, SDA-AMM Chair, to proceed with the meeting. Datuk Sri, the floor is yours.
I feel like dancing. The floor is yours. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. Thank you, distinguished ASEAN foreign ministers and economic ministers, foreign and economic ministers of Timor-Leste, Excellency Secretary General of ASEAN, members of ASEAN Geo-Economic Task Force, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor in my capacity as chair of the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting to co-chair this joint ministerial meeting together with my colleague, Tengku Zafrul. Our agenda today is to address the shifting geopolitical and geo-economic currents impacting ASEAN, and indeed it is a timely one. We meet at a time when the global order is undergoing profound changes among configuration of supply chains and the blurring of lines between technology, security, and economics. The consequences of these are far-reaching and tangible. Protectionism is on the rise, multilateralism is under pressure, economic decisions are now frequently shaped by strategic imperative rather than purely commercial one. In navigating this new reality, ASEAN's approach must be clear, coherent, and cohesive. We must remain steadfast in advancing our shared strategic interests, which are anchored in ASEAN centrality and our unity of purpose. As the world's fifth largest economic bloc, ASEAN cannot afford ambiguity. We must speak with a clear and united voice, one that champions openness, neutrality, and the long-term prosperity of our region. We must continue to advocate for an open, inclusive, and rule-based regional order underpinned by international law that fosters dialogue and cooperation, not confrontation. Articulates precisely this aspiration. It is a forward-looking blueprint which embodies our vision of strategic equilibrium and encourages dialogue, building trust to ensure that this region remains a platform for collaboration among all partners. ASEAN recognizes that trade and investments are no longer insulated from the turbulence of geopolitics. Economic interdependence can be a source of both vulnerability and stability. Our task is to ensure that interdependence becomes a bridge for cooperation rather than a tool of cohesion. In this regard, while deepening our ties with traditional partners, we must also diversify and expand our economic engagements, forging new partnerships that enhance ASEAN's resilience and competitiveness. Excellencies, the traditional division between foreign policies and economic policy no longer holds. Geopolitics and geoeconomics are more deeply intertwined than ever before. ASEAN must therefore break down silos and act in concert to present a unified and strategic front. This joint meeting is a testament of our shared recognition of this need. We must seize this opportunity to align our efforts, streamline our strategies, and ensure that ASEAN remains proactive, coordinated, and forward-looking in defending and advancing our region's political, social, and economic interests. Let us send a strong, united message that ASEAN is not a passive bystander in today's world, but a proactive force for stability, openness, and peace. Our continued relevance will be measured by our ability to engage all partners constructively while resisting the gravitational pull of rivalry and polarization. Let us reaffirm ASEAN's enduring commitment to peace, stability, and prosperity, where trade is not only a driver of development, but the cornerstone of regional harmony. With that, I would like to invite my colleague, Tengku Zafrul, to have his opening address, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency, for giving me the floor. First and foremost, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all AEM and colleagues to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I would like to also take this opportunity to express my appreciation to my colleague, Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Utama Haji Muhammad Hassan, for hosting this joint AEM and AMM meeting. As rightly mentioned by the AMM Chair, this joint meeting comes at a pivotal moment, providing an important platform for ASEAN to address economic and political security issues in a more integrated and strategic manner. While the mechanism itself is not new, its urgency has never been greater. So we all recognize that every economic policy carries political implication, just as every political decision has far-reaching, significant economic consequences. So strengthening the synergy between these two pillars is therefore essential as ASEAN navigates an increasingly complex and uncertain global landscape. And for decades, open trade and regional integration have been the driving force behind ASEAN's remarkable growth, lifting millions out of poverty, driving industrialization, and establishing our region as a key hub in global value chains. However, today, these hard-won gains face mounting threats. Rising protectionism, technological decoupling, unilateral measures threaten to undermine the hard-earned gains of openness and cooperation. So global economic fragmentation has now emerged as one of the defining challenges of our time and is expected to deepen further. So the ongoing strategic rivalry between major powers is unlikely to subside soon. And what began as trade disputes has now expanded to cover logistics, technology, global trade landscape, heightening volatility and testing the resilience of interconnected economies like ours. So to withstand and navigate these growing challenges, ASEAN must anchor its response on two key pillars, economic security and economic resilience. While some equate economic security with isolation or protectionism, path regrettably pursued by several major powers, and ASEAN's approach should focus on remaining open. And our focus should be on protecting the stability of regional and global supply chains, securing access to over-dependence on any single market or production source. It also entails the strengthening food, energy, and digital security while building institutional capacity to anticipate and mitigate risks before they escalate into crisis. Economic resilience, meanwhile, calls for diversifying markets and supply networks, deepening intra-ASEAN trade and investment as well, of course, and enhancing cooperation with trusted and like-minded partners, all to build a more stable, predictable environment and sustainable regional economic environment. So together, we are here today. These two pillars will enable ASEAN to safeguard strategic autonomy, preserve regional stability, and maintain its position as a trusted and competitive hub amid global uncertainty. So, Excellency, Ministers, as one of the world's major regional blocs, ASEAN must remain steadfast in upholding a rules-based multilateral trading system that underpins global stability and shared prosperity. ASEAN should advocate for more focused and high-impact reforms at the WTO, particularly in areas such as enhancing subsidy transparency, establishing digital trade governance, and restoring trust in dispute settlement mechanisms to rebuild trust and confidence in global trade rules. In parallel, as I mentioned earlier, I believe it's timely for ASEAN to strengthen our regional economic security, enabling us to be better positioned to respond effectively to emerging challenges. So on that note, I look forward to the insight of the ASEAN Geo-Economic Task Force, or the AGTF, established earlier this year in helping to shape our region's strategic directions. And having shared its preliminary finding at the AMM meeting in July, as well as the AEM meeting last month, I trust that today's presentation will offer constructive, forward-looking, and actionable recommendations that can further strengthen ASEAN's collective resilience in navigating an increasingly complex global environment. So thank you.
Thank you, Yang Mulia Tengku Zafrul, Minister of Trade and Investment in Malaysia. We have 4 agendas today in our meeting. Number 1 is adoption of agenda. Item number 2, business arrangements. Number 3, there will be this presentation by AGTF. Ibu going to present, yeah, and then after that, other matters. Then after that, they will get this. We take turn as the next chair of Philippines. After that, then we take turn in alphabetical order. I would like to invite media to have a coffee outside. I see you all later. Cintong, what are you doing there? All by yourself.